you're unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
You want me to unmute myself?
Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon. I have the pleasure of welcoming everyone to the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Los Angeles chapter's third SISTER-NOMIC workshop. The National Coalition is a nationwide organization whose mission is to advocate on behalf of African American girls and women to promote leadership development and gender equity in the areas of health, education, economic empowerment, and public policy. SISTER-NOMIC is one of our signature economic empowerment programs to help women become financially independent. The purpose of SISTER-NOMIC is to inform and inspire African American women to become financially literate through financial planning, financial management, and ultimately becoming financially secure at every age. The targeted economic empowerment initiatives include entrepreneurship, employment strategies, affordable health care, money management strategies, safe investment building, and generational wealth building. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Parker.
Dr. Parker, you have to unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Gwinnett Parker. I'm the first VP of programs for the Coalition of 100 Black Women Los Angeles chapter. Under my job description, I work with more than one program, one of which is now Economic Empowerment, which you're watching. We feel that we can no longer allow Black women to slip through the cracks, and it's imperative that we enforce policies and procedures that legislation can work to help us better the conditions of Black women. We look at the Lilly-Ledbery Fair Pay Act and the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform. We are addressing these economic challenges that has implemented not only the Black women's future, but that of their children. Economic empowerment focuses on financial literacy, family wealth building, and entrepreneurship. Today, we will be looking at the entrepreneurs who have gotten out there, started jobs on their own, and we thank all of our panelists who will be presenting. Also, we thank the committee who diligently worked to get this together. Thank you for being in attendance, and I ask that you look forward to next year when we will have 3 other economic empowerment programs. You look for us on the internet. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. James and Dr. Parker. My name is Winter McDaniel, and I am the Economic Empowerment co-chair for our committee with the Coalition of 100 Black Women Los Angeles chapter. And I will kind of be your mistress of ceremony for today.
Shit, that was decent.
So I hope that you will enjoy what we have prepared for you. The purpose of this event is to expose you to a panel of African American women who will share their stories, their tips, and their strategies on becoming self-employed business owners. And resources will be emailed to all of you that registered for the workshop within 48 hours of today's workshop. And then I also would like to ask each of you, if you were referred to this workshop by one of our members, please put their name in the chat. And so, because we would like to acknowledge our members that are inviting guests to our workshop. So again, if you were invited to this workshop by one of our members, please put the member's name in the chat box. Okay, so now I would like to give you guys a little bit of history, some statistics on African American women and their business growth. And so we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, thank you, Monique. According to Forbes.com, there were 2.4 million African American women business owners in 2018, most owned by women ages 35 to 54. FastCompany.com reported the following statistics in 2019. Number one, Black women are starting businesses faster than any other group, sharing that women of color account for 89% of new businesses. That's awesome. Opened every day over the past year. The number of firms that are owned by African American women grew even faster at 50%. Minority women are more likely to have a side hustle. Over the last 5 years, the number of women with side hustles has increased 39% compared to a 21% average rate of entrepreneurship. So among minority women, it's even higher, 65% compared to the 32%. And entrepreneur ventures are concentrated in 3 business sectors. We tend to provide services like hair and nail salons, pet care, healthcare, social assistance, and professional and technical services such as lawyers and bookkeepers. So despite the hustle and positive statistics, minority women are being shut out when it comes to access to capital. And so we want to kind of, give you some resources that you can use to allow you to, plan for your journey and maybe have some access to capital as well. So now we are going to move forward in meeting our panelists. We have 4 dynamic women who are members of the coalition who are also business owners. And so we would like to highlight them and allow them to share their stories. So I'm going to quickly go through the 4 women that we have, and then I will go back and allow each woman to speak. So our first panelist is Shannon Watkins. And I'm going to wait for her slide to come up. Okay, there she is. So Shannon Watkins is the administrator and owner of Concise Care Group and Concise Home Health Care Services. She has over 15 years of experience in the senior care field. And within these years, she's been able to leverage her experience and her advanced degrees in behavioral social science, health administration, and gerontology to be able to provide unique services that meet the growing needs of today's seniors and their caregivers. Our next panelist will be Bessie Farr Goodman McClellan. Bessie Farr Goodman McClellan, I'm going to wait for her. Oh, there she is. Okay. She's the co-author of Spurts from Girl to Womanhood, and she's also an evangelist with a mission to educate and save children. She received her bachelor's degree in business science from Pepperdine University, which equipped her to work and to set up several large corporations in the Los Angeles area, namely 2 schools, 1 teen pregnancy prevention nonprofit organization, as well as a state licensed preschool. Our third panelist we have is Mary L. Davis, and I'm going to wait for her screen. There she is. So Mary L. Davis is a former classroom teacher for LAUSD. She is the CEO of Delianne Lucille, operating under DBA Delalue Achievement Homes. The organization focuses on therapy, rehabilitation, and family reunification for girls ages 12 through 18. The girls are oftentimes wards of the court or from the county of the probation department. They have been traumatized by their experiences of physical or emotional abuse, neglect, and some have also been victims of sex trafficking. And last but not least, we have Joanna Gray. There she is. All right. Uh-oh. Okay. Joanna Gray, MBA, is a native of Los Angeles, and she is the co-owner of Gray's Activewear Printing, a custom merchandise printing company. Joanna has an Etsy online store at Royal Kings Queens 20 and provides e-commerce online website services to businesses that are seeking to increase their revenue and their fundraising efforts. She is a graduate of Cal State University of Long Beach and the University of Phoenix, where she earned her Master's of Business Administration. So I would like to go back to Shannon and have you speak and just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey as an entrepreneur, the good, the bad, and everything in between.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Shannon Watkins, and I am the owner of Concise Care Group. Concise Care Group consists of three companies within one, and I'll go over it with you. I initially started my journey as an administrator of skilled nursing and assisted living facilities. I started about 2003, and I worked my way up, and eventually I started off at assisted livings, and I moved forward into skilled nursing facilities. Through that, I gained a lot of experience with managing businesses, because when you're an administrator, you oversee about 100 employees, and the responsibility pretty much lies on you. So you establish relationships with families, different vendors in the outside community, and hospitals. So with that knowledge that I had, and based off the experience and the amount of responsibility, it became overwhelming, especially with having kids, because you're on call for 24 hours. So with that amount of responsibility and constantly being on call, even when you're on vacation, I went out on a limb and started my own business. About 10 years in, I started my own business in 2015. And when I started my own business, I kind of just went out on a limb and just quit my job. So I discussed it with my husband, and I said, can you give me 1 year to see how it will go? So I formed Concise Care Group, and I built a consulting agency where I educated families and seniors and disabled adults about the healthcare option. I don't know if a lot of you had anyone that has aged or had any form of disability. The long-term care industry could kind of be long-winded, and it's a different verbiage, and you kind of get lost through the transition. So I was able to leverage my relationships with my co-workers and different colleagues that I established over the years, and they would give me referrals. So if they had a client that needed assistance with figuring out where to live, if they needed an assisted living, skilled nursing facility to go over their insurance, I was referred to. So within that year, I established a strong clientele, which I started making just equivalent or even more what I was making as an administrator. So after the first year, I decided to expand our business, and my husband ended up coming and working with me as well. So we partnered together, and we purchased a home health agency. So within the first year, I expanded our business to a home health agency, which a home health agency is where you send out physical therapists or licensed nurses to someone's home under their insurance. So within that year, I was unaware at that moment that it took Department of Health and Medicare and Medi-Cal a year and a half to get us licensed. I was told it was going to be 6 to 8 months, but it didn't pan out that way. So it became a little taunting and a little difficult for us, because we had to manage. I went from being self-employed to now operating a business where you have a lot of expenses. So I had to learn how to juggle, and that was a hard transition, but it was it was useful, very useful, because I was able to learn different aspects of the business of being so hands-on. And we just became licensed in November of 2019, and we finally completed the process and completed all of our surveys, and I was very grateful for that. And then we expanded again, and I got another certification called an Assisted Living Waiver Program, where we assist low-income seniors that can't afford assisted living facilities. We help them with the funding, and we find them placement so that they can be safe. So that is my journey in the healthcare industry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shannon, for sharing. Next, I would like to invite Bessie Farr Goodman to tell you a little bit about herself and her journey as an entrepreneur. Bessie?
Unmute myself. Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes.
I'm Bess Goodman McClellan, and I am the executive director owner of Goodman Family Daycare Services, as well as I have joined links with Film Choice and the Coalition of 100 Black Women. I am the chaplain for the Coalition of 100 Black Women. And just to give you a brief background, I attended Pepperdine University and obtained my bachelor's degree in business administration, which led me to several corporations, which I was executive director of several of them. I was able to implement for South Central Los Angeles area a $17.5 million grant for different businesses in the community. This led me to equip myself with quite a bit of expertise in helping families and helping teen pregnancy, unintended teen pregnancies, of which today I co-authored a book called Spurts, along with our first vice president of the coalition. We are right now in a transition of getting our book out in the hands of the community and the school districts to help these girls, these young women, to reduce unintended pregnancies. Right now, my journey took me to opening up almost an elementary school. Well, it was a preschool in the city of Southgate, which from my humble beginnings, I started in my home, licensed from the Department of Children and Family Services and Community Care Licensing for the capacity was 6. And then it increased to 14, a large family home. And after several months with the license capacity of 14, the word got around and they wanted good care for their children while they worked and went to school. So I opened up a commercial building, which then I was licensed for 168 children, and was in the process of converting that to an elementary school. So I had to really hire teachers, interview them. So it was a challenge. Right now, to make a long story short, I came on back to my humble beginnings, which was my home, and licensed a large family home, which I am licensed now for 14 children, full capacity. I'm an essential worker, and I know that is an important job because with the COVID viruses and COVID-19 and coronaviruses, I have to be on my post. I have to have my daycare and preschool open for the children whose parents have to work. They are essential workers. So we are right now looking to possibly open up another facility. Hopefully it would be a larger facility. It would be back into a commercial building. So right now, I'm really grateful for the experience that I've had and that I'm in a position to help those families who are essential workers and have to work and go to school in order to provide for their families. So continue to pray for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bess. Thank you for that. Next, I would like to invite Mary L. Davis to tell us a little bit about her journey and what brought her to where she is now. Mary, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
It's my pleasure to be here to participate in the Coalition SISTER-NOMIC workshop. I would like to thank Dr. Parker, who recommended me, and for the committee for allowing me to be a participant in the panel. I hope my words can be used to inspire at least one person to become an entrepreneur in this great city of opportunity. I am Mary Davis, the CEO and founder of the Dillian Lucille Corporation, also known as Delelu Achievement Home. I began my career in Los Angeles as an educator with the Los Angeles Unified School District, serving as a teacher, a coordinator, supervisor, and an administrator. As many of you who are educators out there know that performing these duties, you have to become very excellent at what you do. And I know that performing these duties helped me gain my confidence in my leadership skills. But I was not satisfied with my yearning to own my own business and to provide a greater service to mankind. I have a deep love for the youth of the city, and I consider myself to be an advocate for young women and girls. The question was, what could I do to be of more help? In 1987, my husband Charles and I attended classes sponsored by the state of California that gave clarification on the great need of the community to find shelters for girls who were wards of the court or who were from the probation department. I like to say that the girls are in the system through no fault of their own. With Charles' help and a few good friends, the Dillian Lucille Corporation was formed in 2000. We purchased a house in the community near USC, and it was not until 2003 that we secured the appropriate licensing to open our first home. This year, we celebrated 17 years of working with the girls at Delelu. A lot of hard work and dedicated staff. We now have 3 homes. The others are located in areas where there's a great need. House number 2 is located in the area near View Park. And house number 3 is located in the Century Park area adjacent to Inglewood. Our staff has grown from 29 to approximately 70. And this is because we provide daily supervision, 24-hour care for at least 20 girls. When we're at our capacity, we have 20 girls, and we try to keep that current all the time. We have a great mental health team of professionals that add to our program. To date, we have served nearly 1,000 young ladies, troubled teenagers between the age of 7, 12, and 18. We provide a warm, nurturing environment with our highly trained staff who serve the roles as a prudent parent. Today, our home is turned short-term residential therapeutic program, which means that we provide more intensive services for our girls. We're contracted by the County of Los Angeles and the Department of Mental Health. I really enjoy being with the girls. That's been my passion for a number of years. And I love sitting and talking with them, playing games with them. I love to take them to concerts and cultural activities. We provide a program which includes individualized educational program, individualized therapy, yoga, art, You know, I love them dancing around the house, and we like to dress them up occasionally and take them out to the music center and to different places such as that. Um, our goal, our mission, our vision is intended to improve the life's outcomes for this specific population. And so the girls will become contributing members of the society. Today, my son Craig is the director of the business. We are fortunate that he became available to move the company to the next level. So I just want to say that I'm happy to be here. And as I said, our mission and our goal is to improve the quality of life for the young ladies that we encounter. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary. And then I will now introduce or bring on our next panelist, Joanna Gray.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is
Morning.
Joanna. Hello. My name is Joanna Gray. I'm the co-owner of Gray's Activewear Printing. We are a custom printing company, meaning we can print anything on multiple types of garments, meaning t-shirts, hoodies, onesies, tote bags, sweatshirts, and those types of material. We're very proud of what we do. We're a DTG company, meaning we're a direct to garment printing company. Very high quality, and we also do vinyl, glitter, and we're just very creative with that. I'm excited about this business and excited about being in this business because I'm very creative. I'm very creative, and be able to my husband and I were very creative. He's the co-owner. We're both business partners in this. My husband and I, we started this business because we started a church called Sacred Life Baptist Church. And we wanted to be able to fund the church. So we were thinking of ways, well, you know, we don't want to take from the people, but we want to be able to fund the church. So we said, well, he went to manual arts. He's a manual arts graduate. And while at manual arts, there was a screen printing class. So blessings to the arts classes, because years later, we were able to develop a business based on what we learned from LAUSD. So blessings to our LAUSD education. From there, we expanded. So we started as a local business, mostly word of mouth. We were on Instagram, Facebook, a lot of people. So we told a lot of people, and we were able to grow from there because we have quality products. And if it's not something that the customer wants, or if we don't print until they are satisfied. That's basically how we do it. We go back and forth with emails and make certain that the print is what they want. If by any chance there's a problem, there's an issue, we have a good way of working it out. And that's why we have a high returning client rate, because they feel comfortable with our prints and knowing that they're going to get what they want. So we're really high on customer service. We're able to expand from being a local business, meaning, just in LA, to being an e-commerce, an online business now. So we basically have gone international at this point. We use various outlets. We were able to ship items to customers on Instagram. We've also expanded to having a website called Spirit Sale, in which we can do multiple websites for people that are seeking fundraiser t-shirt services. So we're able to create their own storefront website so that they can have their own type of fundraising services for t-shirts. Also, we expanded to Shopify and to Etsy. Etsy is an amazing online marketplace where people that create items, they go on there and they can sell. Well, we have been able to grow on Etsy, and we're very happy about expanding on there and our growth rate on there. while we're doing this business, both of us are both two full-time career county employees. I'm a probation officer, a juvenile probation officer, and my husband, he's a children's social worker. So we, our passion is with the youth, and we love, helping and supporting. We've been doing that since we were young, but we just carried that on. Not only that, I'm a woman of God. That is, that's my main thing. I'm a wife, I'm a mother. So, doing this can be difficult, being full-time, and having a full-time business. But we're very happy. I know I'm extremely happy in what I'm doing right now. So that is Gray's Activewear Printing, and that is what we do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joanna. So I'm sure all of you guys have enjoyed listening to the background of our panelists, and I'm sure you guys are wondering, well, we want to hear some of the trials and tribulations and some of the positives and negatives. So now what I am going to do is I am going to address each of our panelists with a Q&A. And these are questions that I prepared ahead of time so that the audience members can, kind of get some more of the nitty gritty of what it's really like to be an entrepreneur and to start your business. And then after our Q&A, we're going to have a special guest speak to you guys from the SBA, the Small Business Association, to give you guys some tips and pointers on how you can start your own business or grow your current business. So with that said, I would like to address each of our panelists, and I would like to ask each of you, if you had to start from scratch, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? Shannon?
What I would do differently is I would not assume. I made a lot of financial mistakes and wasted a lot of time assuming. Since I was vetted in the business, I thought I knew it. And I hired consultants that were not as beneficial that I thought they would be. So I would strongly suggest for people to research anything that you're going to invest money in. You need to know it from beginning to end, because sometimes you can think you can outsource services, but it doesn't mean that they're going to bring quality of work and save you time. I've noticed that me knowing more about a specific, I'll give an example. In our industry, we need to know about a lot of billing, like in Medicare and Medi-Cal. That is the bulk of our money. So I had to really learn and teach myself billing. So when I hire someone, I can know if they're effectively doing it correctly. So just knowing your industry is very important, every aspect.
Okay. Bess, if you had to start from scratch, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
I would more or less focus on one or two things or two entities that I would like to go into. I would surround myself with expertise, people that had more knowledge than I had at the time in the business, and especially setting up different businesses. I would have really devoted a lot of my time to my grant writing, which that was one of the advantages of setting up my business. I was able to write proposals to get them funded by the federal, state government. So what I know now, I would have focused more so on the funding aspects, looking at what I know now.
Okay, thank you. Mary L. Davis, if you had to start from scratch, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? You have to unmute yourself.
If I had to start from scratch, I would do it earlier. I think I spent a lot of time with LAUSD that probably was not necessary. I could have started the business a lot sooner, taking the skills and talents that I had developed and brought into this independent program earlier.
Okay. And Joanna, if you had to start from scratch, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
Hi. I would definitely research products and research everything before you purchase. You know, just don't dive in head first. Definitely take your time. And even if you have to get a little bit at a time, you know, just don't buy so much at first. You know, especially if you're going to go into an e-commerce or merchandise type of business. Just buy a little bit at a time. Look for multiple ways for your products. Look for multiple venues. Look for, if you want to purchase an item to make something, you know, really research your reviews, because you'll be stuck with that with that item, you know, and just waste a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to move on to some specific questions that I have for Shannon. Shannon,
Yeah.
what are three or what are any current threats, if there are any, to your business, and how are you handling them?
Since I am we have a license and we're funded through Medicare, and Medi-Cal. When the government starts discussing cuts, it's usually in those areas when they discuss Social Security. So those are kind of my concerns, because when they start discussing budget cuts, that's usually where they tend to focus on, is under Medicare and Medi-Cal. But I mean, that's inevitable. I don't think anything will happen, but that's something that kind of I keep my ear to and listen to and try to observe if there's going to be any effect regarding our industry.
Okay. And how do you balance your time between your business, your personal life, like your outside responsibilities, and then along with the duties of being a wife and a mother?
I have a very supportive husband. We work together, so he is really hands-on and he understands how much within my business, it's a lot of interaction with family and providing a lot of support with families and the seniors. So I have a very supportive husband, and I try to delegate my time as much as I can during the day and focus with them at night. So I have a very small window of a social life, but I mean, I try to well balance myself as much as I can right now. I have a lot of balls in the air right now, so I don't have that much time by myself.
Okay. Name some of your responsibilities as a business owner for people that don't know what it's like to have to run a business. Can you name some of your responsibilities?
I am an accountant. I am a marketer. I am a biller. I am an administrator. I am a social worker and a supervisor. So through all those, I have to make sure that I run an effective business. A lot of our clientele is from word of mouth. So I believe in a reputation and knowing our company from A to Z. So I need to learn how to delegate more so I can have some more time to myself. I'm working on that now. But when you're a business owner and you're trying to establish a company, your reputation is so important. So I really am involved in every aspect.
Okay. And then last but not least, what are some of the things that you do to relieve the stress of owning a business?
I unwind. I really will turn off my phone at a certain time and then just spend time and ask and talk to my kids and pretty much have a little family time. That's how I kind of unwind from my business.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next, I have a series of questions for Joanna. Joanna, what is the most important business discovery that you have made or you've learned as a business owner?
I learned the importance of the Small Business Administration. It's great that we have set that up to have that, because I leaned on them from the beginning, starting up to right now. I mean, they are my counselors, they're my guidance. I mean, when I need any help, and services are free. So, I really love the Small Business Administration. So I realized the importance of that. And also, a really big business discovery is that you cannot be stuck on money if you have a business. You're going to lose some money. Just like it, and it takes money to make money. That's what some people don't realize. They want to be stuck on the numbers and say they want a penny pinch. And, you can try to do that, but you're going to have some customers that are going to, really push you, and you're going, in order to appease them, you're going to have to give some. So that's one thing that I've noticed. You cannot be stuck on money.
Okay. What has been the most significant barrier, if any, in your business or your career?
Time is a real big barrier, meaning, because I have a full-time career, not just a job, but it's a real career. Like when I go there, I have to focus on it because, we have people's lives at stake. I deal with the courts, so I can't make any, mistakes. When judges ask me something, I have to be correct. So I have to
Right.
focus on that for a lot of my days. And then I come home, but when I come home, we have family, and that's what's most important. So we have to do that. And then I get to the business after that. So that's been a real barrier. So the goal is to plan to convert to being a full-time business owner. So that's really been, just trying to figure out that puzzle of how to make that switch and be comfortable with making that switch, because giving up a really big career for a business where it's like, sometimes maybe uncertain is kind of scary. So that's why that transition hasn't been there yet.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And then how do you plan on growing your business? Because you just mentioned that the goal is for you to eventually leave your full-time career and be a full-time business owner. So how do you plan on growing your business?
Well, definitely with the assistance of the small, I have a great lady. Her name is Debbie with the Small Business Administration. She helps me, regularly, just with the guidance and making sure when I get thrown off, she tells me, hey, so in 3 years, we want to have an actual brick and mortar shop. With that in the Inglewood area, because we want to grow with Inglewood. Yes. But with that, I just continue to take her recommendations. I look for the trends. And then customer service, it's extremely important. I have to put out those quality products. And if I can't, then, and if they're unhappy, I do whatever I got to do to make them happy. So if that means I have to send them another shirt, that means I have to refund, so be it. As long as I get those smiles at the end, that's what makes us happy.
Okay. And then last but not least, because your business is unique compared to the other panelists that we have here, you have an online business. What is your approach to marketing?
I buy ads, straight up. I buy ads. So Etsy, I spend money on ads every single day, and that is how I've been able to grow on Etsy. If you're on Instagram, if you have, and make certain that your products look a certain way. I'm talking from an e-commerce standpoint. I can go on and on about that, but just make certain that how you look at your competitors and their level of how they look, and do your own version of it, and I make certain, and again, that the reviews I push for 5 stars. So that is huge on that. And I send out coupons to my customers also. So I give, like I
Okay.
said, I give a little so that we can get a lot. So if you give a little bit of discount, you'll have a forever client.
Okay. Thank you for that. Now my questions for Bess. Describe one of your biggest failures or one of the biggest lessons that you learned during your journey, and how that contributed to your success, the success that you have now.
Okay. describe my biggest failures that I had in setting up my business. Well,
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it per se. Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I wouldn't call it greatest failures. I would more or less call it obstacles that held me back or gotten in my way. Well, before opening my own business, I had to, um, I was a mother, young mother, so I really hated leaving my children with other people. So I hired housekeepers and those that would take care of my children while I was at work, which 90% of the people that are starting families right now, that's what they're doing. But one of the things that sort of held me back was trying to find specific individuals that love children that would treat my children as I'm out working and trying to make a living for my household while my husband worked at that time. So
Okay.
I had to find a way where I could be at home with my children while they were small. And therefore, I looked into it, I researched, and I found places where I could go and observe other daycare providers. And that's what I did. I researched and then I opened up my own daycare, opened up my own preschool. I was able then to be with my children and prepare the meals for them and give them myself as well as other people's children. So
Okay.
that's how I describe one of the biggest setbacks had I not.
Okay. Thank you. What was your mission at the outset of starting your business? When you started your business, what was your mission? What did you have in mind?
Before I started the business, I really wanted, first of all, I was attending Pepperdine University and UCLA. So this is even before I had children, my ultimate goal was to become a dentist before I started my business.
Okay. And when you did start your business and then you had to hire your very first employee, what was the most important thing that you were looking for in that person?
Well, I was really looking for someone that would be a replica of myself, that would duplicate my love for children, and that they wanted to empower children, give them the best of yourself and the best of the environment which to build upon their knowledge and to really expand what they already have within. We just had to bring it out. So I was looking for a teacher. I was looking for a staff that would be able to emulate the things that I provided for the children and as well as the parents.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Next, we're going to have questions for Mary, and then we're going to get into our guest speaker. So we might run over the meeting a little bit. So I would like to ask everybody to please stay on because our guest speaker is from the Small Business Administration, and she has some valuable information for you. So Mary, I have some questions for you. What is unique about the service that you provide? And you have to unmute yourself.
The unique thing about our company is that we are providing a service to the community for the state of California, for the county. We're providing this service. It's amazing that we have these wonderful young ladies that have been through all kinds of trauma, and through no fault of their own, they find themselves without parents, or without well, they're alone, and many times they have the opportunity to go back home. But while they're with us, we provide a plethora of resources for them, and help them change their way of viewing life, and in general, and help them visualize themselves in a better place.
Oh, good.
Our mission is to enrich them educationally, spiritually, emotionally, and culturally. The cooking classes, the sewing classes, the cooking classes are every Sunday, and they have written a book about with their recipes in it. They have an art teacher. There's computer classes, of course, and yoga, and then we provide individualized tutoring. So all these things as our goal is to help our mission, which is to get them, make them become better citizens.
Okay. I heard you mention earlier that your son is now the director of, of your organization. And so, you are celebrating many years of running this business, and you've been able to turn it over to your son. To what do you attribute all of these years that you've had the success? To what do you attribute your success?
My success has been built upon persistence, hard work, in executing our vision and not stopping. Just keep going. Don't let naysayers influence you to not do it. I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't want to work with those girls." I don't listen to their opinions because they don't have the same thought about girls that I have. I see girls as wonderful no matter what they're like. I like them. I don't mind the bad kid. Every now and then there's some girl that comes along that's really wonderful. But I also want to say that I'm very creative. I have faith in myself, and I align myself with people in our company who have the same vision, who want to see our girls grow and achieve. And I'm actually in the entrepreneurial spirit. I'm constantly looking for other opportunities.
Okay. And then last but not least, what advice would you give to the next generation of Black women?
Well, the most important advice I would give to the next generation of Black women.
Oh, we can't hear you.
The most important thing that I would do is for them to be prepared, be the best, better than the rest, and to be confident in their abilities. If they have a dream, don't give up on your dreams. I found that the LA County, the state of California, have all these bidding opportunities. It's amazing. I went to a couple of bidding class sessions, and there are people all over the state coming down to LA to try to provide services to the community. So LA County is a really big place with a really big needs, and they are resourcing them out to entrepreneurs every day. And for me, I was, as a member of the Los Angeles Unified School District, I hesitated venturing out. I said I should have started sooner. I don't mind. I want our new girls to not be afraid of being independent. If you find that you're not appreciated in one area and you're a tough cookie, take your talents and skills somewhere else, or create your own business. So don't get stuck in one area trying to meet your rainbow there when there are many opportunities out there. And the last thought I have is that build alliances. Know your city, know what your city needs, become acquainted with your politicals, the state, California, the representatives, the city council members, the county members. the help that I got initially started with Bernard Parks and Yvonne Breakaway Burke. If it wasn't for Yvonne and her helping me along the way, I would not have been a provider as early as I was. So with her help and just a word or two from those people can stimulate a lot of movement for you. So get to know them. Don't hesitate.
Okay, thank you. Now, last but not least, I would like to introduce our guest speaker from the Small Business Administration. Her name is Colette Moore. So if we can bring up her slide, which is right after that one. Okay, Colette Moore is the director of the Small Business Development Center, helping small businesses to start, grow, and succeed. Colette recently owned a staffing franchise, Pride Staff, for 8 years. And in 2018, Pride Staff was named the best of staffing. In 2015, her office was named a top 100 minority company by the LA Business Journal. Colette holds a bachelor's degree in industrial and systems engineering from USC, and she received her MBA from UCLA's Anderson School. So I would like to introduce to you Colette, who is going to give you some tips and strategies to starting your own business or helping you grow your business. Colette, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you, Winter, and the Coalition for 100 Black Women for inviting me today. I really enjoyed hearing the panelists today, and I hope that you all had a really great, it was a great opportunity to hear from some wisdom from people that are in business, continuing to be in business as well. So thank you to the panelists for their dynamic presentation. So I wanted to share with you guys just a little bit about what the SBDC is. I'm actually with the SBDC, which is a Small Business Development Center. And it's a national program. There are 1,000 centers in the US, and our goal is to help economic development for small businesses. So we do business consulting, training, provide all types of resources, meet with groups such as this to help you in your funding, planning, all of that. And our goal is, as Winter said, help businesses start, grow, and succeed. Lately, though, we have been adding in here, survive and succeed, because we've been doing a lot of work helping people through the pandemic with lending and how to keep their business sustainable during this period. It's been a very tough period. So I was happy to hear that some of the ladies on the call are actually thriving in the midst of significant difficulty. That's really great to hear, because that has not been the case for everyone. So this advising is free of charge. This is your great taxpayer dollars at work. So we're able to provide you free of charge, and we do one-on-one consulting business, and we have business advisors that provide this consulting for you. So you would set up an appointment with us. We can help you with startup details, licensing and permits. If you have a restaurant you want to start, I have restaurant specialists, construction specialists. We work and do a lot of lending work and preparing businesses for lending. I have an advisor that does specialists in government contracting and getting certifications, business planning, and then we're also doing classes as well. And so during the pandemic, we've been doing things for the EIDL and the PPP. Now we are doing classes on forgiveness and make sure that people can erase the debt and actually get the forgiveness for the loans that's allowable. And then we are also starting up our new classes and doing marketing actually during this period. So how do you talk to people during a pandemic about your business? Do you have the right tone? How are you addressing that? So we've been doing quite a bit of work to train people right now. So I heard a lot of reasons why today people are starting their business, so much passion, you get to be your own boss, but there is hard work, a lot of long hours that directly benefit you. You have growth potential, but you also have, it's exciting, but it's also risky, and there's a potential for failure in these businesses. And Mary, I loved what you said. If one thing doesn't work, there's so much opportunity out there to continue to keep pressing forward and finding that thing that works for you. And so there's tremendous opportunity, but also tremendous challenges as well. So I wanted to share a little bit, some of the things that we've started to learn from the pandemic, actually, from COVID-19, so that businesses can future your operation. I've seen a lot of challenges, and I'll go through some of those, but one of those, there are 5 lessons, and this is from a restaurant group, a food service group, and they kind of described it as don't cut it too close. You have to have cash flow. So you really have to keep that in mind as you are planning your business. How will you be able to last if there is a downturn, or what might you do to try to moderate that? What's a plan? You often hear about business plans, and I heard today people talk about have a plan, because you really don't know what you don't know. But if you have a plan, at least you have a better framework to address difficulties. Be realistic. You know, we hear people say, well, who's going to be your target market? I'm starting a hair care company. Who's going to be your target market? Everybody that has hair? Probably not. So you have to be realistic and narrow down, and try to provide some specificity in terms of what you want to do. You want to be open and focus on communication. There will be some businesses that are not going to be able to return, and I am convinced that some of it will be because of their lack of communication or the way that they've communicated with their clients during this period. Some have been excellent. They've shared really great ways how to engage. This is what we're doing. This is what the staff is doing. And then others have been kind of mean and nasty or completely silent. And so I think that open communication, whether you have a business or starting a business, is key. And then also marketing budgets. So that was one of the things, if you had a business, keep your marketing up. And it was really nice to hear, I think, Joanna mentioned that she was doing marketing on Etsy. So we don't have time for the full business plan components, and we have a class that goes through more detail here, but there are several things in the business plan that are critical. And it's funny because there's on the SBA website, there is a list of a guide, and I have a link here in the back. So there's kind of a step-by-step, but most of the business owners on this call today said, it's kind of a little mashup, right? All these things are going on at the same time. So there are certain things that you need to do, but there's quite a bit of overlap going on at the same time. And I'm gonna cover just a few of those today. So, and the one that I find most important is the business product or description. So what we're finding is, this business, you have to know, what is your description? What service are you going to be delivering? What is it? How does it work? And then who are you going to be delivering it to? So that there's some really clear understanding, and it'll help you figure out the other things that you need to do, like what's the name of the business, because you want to go out and you want to get a business name and all that. You need to really have a good sense of what your business is going to be offering. And then there's also, where are you going to be providing the business? Is it going to be in the city? I love the comments about LA County. LA County actually does have a lot of great services. LA City does as well. But if it's not going to be in a physical location, then it's great if you can go onto Etsy or Amazon and you can sell your products online. And we've had quite a few businesses during COVID-19 that shift, because they had time. They've been talking about shifting their business from retail delivery, physical retail delivery to online. And they were forced to do it during COVID-19 and are doing better than they had been in the past. And we have a marketing person that helped them develop their website and understand the retail aspects of that. So how are you going to deliver your business is as important as what that service, what the product and the service is. And is it going to be home-based, online-based, those types of things as well. And you also, I heard mentioned here, point of difference. How are you going to be different than the competitors in the space? What is it that you're going to offer that serves up something that other people aren't going to do? And it's not necessarily just because of you, right? So some of us would like to say, well, they're going to buy it because I'm involved and I'm this and I'm that. That's part of it, but your business can't be solely dependent on you, especially if you're looking to try to grow and expand. Other people have to be able to catch the vision, and they have to be able to understand what type of service delivery you want, what your customers need, and how to actually be able to provide that. Now, know your numbers. This is one area that we found as a significant weakness for African American business and small businesses in general during this pandemic. And it really impacted a lot of businesses and their ability to get loans and their ability to get grants, because many of the grants and loans require financial information. And we found this as a weakness. So everybody's running so hard, trying to get the business going, but you really have to know your numbers. There's a study from the Federal Reserve Bank, and it just showed that smaller businesses that haven't been open long, Black or Latino businesses, we had more signs of limited financial health before the downturn than before. And so you really have to go in and understand the income statement, a balance sheet, your cash flow projections. What is it going to look like, and have a best case and a worst case scenario. I loved hearing the story of just getting the licensing. So if you think that it's going to take you 6 months and it takes you a year and a half, and during that time you might have been expending additional resources and things as well. So you really want to think about how your business is going to work, how you're going to make money, have a margin, because without money you cannot be sustainable. So that's why the money is so important. You want to be sustainable so that you can help your community, you can help your church, you can send your kids or your grandkids to college, you can go on a vacation. Those are things. So you have to have money in order to do that. And we want businesses to be sustainable, and you don't want to camouflage money by taking money out of your pocket all the time. That is not going to be a sustainable business. So you want to figure out what of your products or services provide you the best margin, so you can be as efficient as possible along the way. And think about the cost of starting up a business, whether it's your licensing or your insurance and alarm systems, marketing, payroll, monthly rent, other business expenses. And so our advisors can assist you in developing projections, as well as helping you. We have someone that's a specialist at QuickBooks and accounting, and helping you even determine how to find a bookkeeper, what to ask your accountant. And that's one of the other things we found a lot of in the Black community. We just are not comfortable asking people certain things about the finances and know enough. So we are trying to help train that. And from our center, you will be seeing more and more offerings in this area, because I really saw that I want our folks to be able to get access to capital. Can't get it without the finances or without the good credit. So the other thing that's important for you is the business structure. And this actually will come once you have figured out the product, the service, and some other aspects of your business. So I just shared this here. This is online, actually, at the SBA website, and our advisors can assist you with this. We also have a legal advisor that, depending on your particular situation, should be able to help you assess how you might want to structure your business based on the type of business that you have, whether you should be a sole prop, partner, LLC, or corporation and a C Corp. And it's interesting because I always thought, I would be a corporation, and I was an S Corp when I had my business, and I had no idea about all of the requirements on the back end as an S Corp. There are significant reporting requirements back to the state that you need to understand, whether it's a regular board meetings that you have to have. Even if you're having a board meeting with yourself, you still need minutes, so there's all these other like paperwork challenges that you have to deal with when you are evaluating these business structures and what's going to be helpful for you. And I will say some of this on the sole prop, when I know there are a lot of sole proprietorships, that's great, but you still want to operate as a business. I'm like, grow up, get a bank account for that business. We found that when people apply for some of the EIDL loans and they're sole props, they didn't have a bank account for their business. And then now, if they had the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program loan, then it was hard to get forgiveness, because now it's like you got to create ways to show that the money was going to the business and not to you personally. And so it's really important to make sure that in whatever format that you're in, that you're following the requirements, and it's an opportunity to help your business to grow up, to be ready for bids, to be ready for grants that you're submitting, because even the people that are giving you money for grants, they're looking for good financial records. And I know one business is similar to Bessie's, and it's hard for them to get grants because of the way that they are paying people under the table, because of the way that they don't have their records kept properly, and it's hard for the grant people to be able to give them money. So let's all grow up, get our businesses in order so that we can have more access as well. Then there's licensing and permits. So if you have whatever structure your business is, you may still do business as one thing, and then have a fictitious business name for the product or service that you're selling. And that's a county registration. You put it in the newspaper. You have it runs for 4 weeks. It's really fairly easy to do. I was actually, if I didn't share, I was actually a client of Pacific Coast Regional SBDC when I had my own business. And so my advisor was also one of the lawyers as well. And so he shared with me how to self-serve a lot of these things that cost you very little, that you can do instead of, it'll cost you $25 to do it and take you like 30 minutes versus going and having somebody do it. There's some things he would share with me. I need to go out and get more help, but the things that I could self-serve, I could. So these are some of the things you can do. Make sure you have your EIN, understand the city licenses required for your different type of business, depending on where you're located. When I had a staffing company, I didn't know I was in Culver City, had to be fingerprinted and, be put in the police system and all that. You don't know these things until you're going in and investigating. I mentioned the bank account, and then any other professional licenses that you might need to be able to get set up. If you are looking to do a restaurant, let us know. We have restaurant specialists, and there's a whole extra list of stuff and certifications and health department requirements that you have to meet. So I have some resources here to reach us, and I'll put it in the chat as we're ending here. We have, you can look at our website, it's pcrsbdc.org, and you can ask for a advisor there, or you can see our webinars that we are hosting. SBA.gov is a really, really great site, and there's this 10-step guide to start your business, and this is actually, you'll see this in the presentation. I put in here preliminary name search. So if you go to cal.gov, this is the site here where you can go in and see the different types of businesses maybe that are similar to yours, people that might have similar names. You can be looking at them and looking at your competition as well. This is the IRS site. And then I put in here, I know Winter had asked for, this is Grants for Women 2020. And I saw a question in the chat regarding funding. So we can assist you with funding. And the key thing is to get the documents ready. So our advisors are able to help you prepare your package to go to either a lender, like a small lender like PCR, or actually a bigger bank lender. And we found during the pandemic, the smaller banks were very, very responsive to smaller businesses. So many of our small businesses went to the bigger banks and just did not get the service that they were expecting. And so there are some small banks that are able to help you, but they're asking for similar things. They want credit history, they want financials, they want to know that they'll be able to get paid back. But we can help you. And then we have several advisors that are specialists at banking. And so they know other forms and other resources for lending. So when you are ready to submit, we have other options for you. Right now, lending is a little bit tough for small businesses because of the focus on disaster lending, but it will open back up as soon as the banks kind of settle down in working on these PPP and forgiveness loans. So I look forward to getting any questions for you. I will put our contact information in the chat, and you can feel free to also send us an email if you are looking for an advisor and are looking to start your business, and we can set you up with an advisor right away. But think, get help. Get help. All of these ladies on the call, I thank you. You're sharing your great information. I saw a question for mentorship, and that's what our advisors are able to do. And we can connect you with other people in the space as well, because we work with a lot of different industries. So get help, and it's okay to get help, and especially free help. We should never be ashamed of freebies. This is your tax dollars. It's not free because you all have paid for it. So get all of utilize all.
Uh-oh.
Oh, thanks very much. I'll turn it back over, and I'll put that information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Colette. Thank you. That was such a great presentation. You provided our audience with, a list of resources that they can use, and just, great information. And so just to remind all of our audience members, we will be sending out an email within 48 hours of this presentation with some of the information that was presented today, and with some resources for you to be able to, use on your own, and hopefully help you with your journey. So if you don't mind, I know that we went over time, but if you are able to stay and fill out our polling survey to let us know how you enjoyed the event. We're going to pull up our polling survey, and you can actually do it from your computer live while you are here in the meeting. So please answer these questions for us, and then any questions that you have, please put them in the chat. And then I will turn it over to Dr. James, and she will close out the workshop. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure, working with my committee and putting this together for you guys. And I want to thank Dr. James and Dr. Parker for their guidance, and our panelists. Thank you so much. You guys were excellent. And Colette, so happy to meet you. And I'm sure that most of our audience members will be connecting with the SBA. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Winter, while we wait, I see one person with a raised hand. Monique Bacon, did you want to?
Okay, yeah, you can unmute her.
Oh, you have to unmute yourself, Monique.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Moore. It is so good to see you. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Mrs. Bacon from View Park Middle School. It's so good to see you. And I want to make an appointment, and I was asking, are you all taking in-person appointments, or are you only doing virtual appointments? And thank you so.
Yes, currently we are only doing virtual appointments. We have two offices, I forgot to mention, one at Wilshire and Vermont, and then we also have one in Compton at the beautiful Center for Sustainable Communities. And so we will be getting back, but it'll probably be another month and a half before we start doing in person, but our advisors are absolutely working virtually. So you can start there. Thanks, Ms. Bacon, nice to see you.
Okay, and we'll just wait a few minutes for everyone to finish up the survey, but we will take any questions in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, that's fine too. And then don't forget, if you were referred to our workshop by one of our members, please put their name in the chat. And then Monique, I'll wait for you to let me know when the surveys have been completed.
It says some people are experiencing difficulties, so I think I'm gonna end it and try and relaunch it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, it looks like I can't relaunch the poll. So what I can do is I'll send the link when we send the resources. So if you aren't able to access it, then we'll add it to the resources email that we send out at the end.
Okay. And then it won't let you, just for those of you that are struggling with the poll, because I actually did it myself and it went through, you have to, it won't let you move on until you answer the question. So you have to click on it, answer it, and then hit next.
Okay, so I can't relaunch it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. James, I will turn it over to you for you to close out. And Dr. Woodley, if you can go to our very last slide.
Yes.
Okay, thank you everyone again for coming. We really appreciate your time. You know that you can go anywhere else and you can do anything else you want to do. You chose to come with us. We really appreciate your support. We'd like you to please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our webpage, 100 Black Women LA, Gmail. We also are having another event. This is going to be a public policy event or a political, more women in leadership. Thank you. She has the flyer. If you can see the screen, June 20th, we're having the Women in Leadership Public Policy event. We ask that you please, sign up for the event on Eventbrite, or you can come to our Facebook page or our email page. Thank you very much. Be safe and continue to use your mask, distancing. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.